we gonna welcome Queen on up because she gonna come on up and talk to us tonight. And I'm gonna turn down the music a little bit so we can hear. And I'm gonna turn the phone up a little bit. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey. Good. It sounds like we got a husband in the room too.
Joe do. Yeah. Wait, can you see us?
Your camera's off, so you want to click on your face, and where you see the camera, you want to hit it, and it should turn, and then hit save, and it should turn your camera on.
Okay, wait, hold on. Oh, okay. Oh, there we go.
Hey. Hey.
You're a beautiful couple.
Hey, thank you.
Oh yeah. I love your beard.
Hey man, I like that. I like that beard, man.
I like yours. I like your beard.
I like that.
Ain't no shame in my game.
Right.
Yeah, no, man. We call it what are those called? The silver foxes. They have the silver foxes. So he's like, I'm gonna be a silver fox. He got three of them in here.
Yeah, they coming.
One day. I like that.
One day it's coming.
Don't rush it. Don't rush it.
I'm trying not to.
No, don't rush it. But I love everything you guys are saying. Everything. And this marriage is serious. Yeah, I understand from the divorce side. I understand what it takes. It takes two. It takes two people to make it work. You can't try to make somebody change when you get into the relationship. You have to allow the Most High to change the individual for you.
Absolutely.
So if you're frustrated, let's say if you're frustrated with your wife, frustrated with your husband, don't try to make them change. Turn them over to the Most High and say, look, I turn her over to you. This is what I want to see. And you pray specifically what you desire to see in her. She prays specifically what she wants to see in you. Right. Turn it over to him and allow him to manifest what you've been looking for, and continue to forgive, love one another, and not hold record or keep score of what they did 2 years ago, yesterday, day before.
Right.
Let it go. That's the key to making a relationship work. You got to let stuff go quick. Yeah. My wife and I, we first got married, we made a promise. When we get into something like a dispute or disagreement, we're not going to hold it past 5 minutes. Now, that's really too long. But we say 5 minutes. We try to get out of it within at least a minute. Baby, forgive me, I was wrong. Right. She'll say it or I'll say it. Let it go quickly. Get out of it. Start holding hands again. Start kissing again. Drop it quick, because if you keep holding on to stuff, that's when things begin to linger and linger. Then you're building a cancerous relationship. Next thing you know, you're sitting in divorce court, don't know how you got there.
Right.
You have to let stuff go quick. You got to drop it, man.
You do. And that's one thing that me and her, we definitely established. We don't let things linger and last for days. We'll talk about it. I hear her side. She hear my side. We find the problem. We come up with a solution or a plan, and we act it out. Let's go on about our day. It doesn't have to take till the next day or long periods of time before we finally come together and talk, because she know I don't like not talking to her. Like I can't do it. I can't do it. So once she could walk away I let her go upstairs for a couple minutes, and I come, babe, what's wrong? Well, come on, let's talk about this thing. Let's figure out how we can make this work. And it helps. It definitely helps, to the point now where we can discuss something, even if we have differences about it. We can discuss it and be like, okay, babe, I understand. And we move on, and life goes on.
Some Bleed said what I was going to say. I'm like, I need to get on y'all level, because 5 minutes, let me tell y'all something. I still got a little bit of pettiness in me that the Lord is working out. So I might need about 10 or 15 minutes. But
you know what, I give her a little bit of time. But she know I am not too far behind. I'll give her time to collect her thoughts or whatever, because one thing I don't want to do is try to talk or work something out in the heat of the moment sometimes. Yeah, never want to do that. So if she needs that space to kind of I give you some time, but I'm gonna come tap that leg in a minute.
But you know what though? I love your wisdom. I love your wisdom, my brother. That's some good wisdom. That's some powerful wisdom. Right. A lot of time we men have to learn how to humble ourselves.
We do. We let that ego go.
Ego got to go. When you're married, ego is no more. You got to let that was for the streets. Yeah. I did that junk in the streets. All the ego, tripping, thought I was all that, bag of chips. But when you get married, those things have to die. You have to let the ego go, because you're becoming one, not two, not three, but one. And when you become one, now it's not easy to become one because, as my sister stated, I agree with you. I was the same way. Had that petty stuff, the grudges, holding on to stuff. Just sitting in the corner, just mad.
Yeah.
Just steaming. I've been there before, and I had to learn how to, over the years, let stuff go, let it go. Now, I've been in ministry for over 38 years. I preached a long time. I pastored, started churches in South Korea, started churches in upstate New York. I did all of that stuff. I had to let that go, ministry, because it was a wear and tear on the body. And it wore me out. And now my focus now is my marriage and my ministry to her. And I talk to others, but it's nothing like ministering at home. Making sure your house is right. I'm not trying to fix everybody else's house. My house still up.
Yeah.
It's too many of us want to be superheroes for everybody else's relationship. But I'm walking around, they saying that joker's a terror at home, man. But everybody else, he helping everybody else out. But he's a wicked dude at the house. No, you won't hear that about us because I make sure, first thing I do, work on myself. I don't work on her. I work on me.
Right.
And when I work on me, she's going to be happy because I'm doing the working on me for her. So I'm doing it for her when I work on me, and she does the same thing.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, I knew it was I knew it's a reason we bought y'all up, because number one, we all on one accord. We all believe. And so that's one, because a lot of people don't realize that marriage is your first ministry. So it's not about going out and we wouldn't be on this live right now if we were sitting here at odds. And that's what most people do. They want to go out in public, act like everything's okay. Like you see people in the car driving to church, fighting, arguing. But then when you step out the car door and you walking in the sanctuary, now y'all want to act like everything is good. Like you wasn't just cussing each other out on the way to church.
Yeah.
So, the first thing is that your own marriage has to be this is who we're ministering to before we even minister out to other people.
Right.
So I love that. But I'm I knew the Lord had us bring you up for a reason, but I love hearing from y'all. How long have y'all been married?
14 years, be 15 in November.
Nice.
Okay, what date?
Say again?
What date?
November the 8th.
Okay, we're November 22nd. We 2 months in, but
Oh, wait, look, I'm telling you something. 2 months. 2 months is a long time these days.
Yes.
It really is.
Don't ever scoff or look at the things that are small. Small beginnings are great things.
Yes.
The end of a thing is better than the beginning of a thing. See, the deal is working through those 2 months. That's powerful. You still work through it.
Yeah.
See, 3 months. Don't even start counting the days or we've been 2 months. We've been 3 months. No. Just keep walking through it every day. Keep working. Next thing you know, it'll be a year. Time goes by fast.
It really
goes
does.
by real fast. And you guys look like you and love one another, like you really crazy about one another. Keep it that way and keep people out your business.
Yeah.
I see you, bro. I see you. Don't get started now.
She know, man. That's my word. Yeah, that's my word right there.
That's right, brother. I'm the same way. I tell them all the time. Look, this is my chocolate milk. I'm the caramel.
I like that now.
Watch out now. Watch out. Look, I believe like this. If you love somebody, show it.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I don't let everybody in my business.
Right.
I don't go tell my wife get me upset. I'm not driving out there to start talking. Yeah, man, she did me. I don't tell you my business because there's a lot of jokers out there trying to find a way to get in.
Right.
So we deal with stuff. We deal with stuff ourselves.
Right.
We don't even leave out the house with attitude.
Right.
And we don't even get out the car with attitude. I've seen many people, as you stated, come into the sanctuary and they just got finished fussing. You see, she went one way, he went another way. And I happened to preach a message that day about that, and they be sitting up there shocked. I said, well, I don't know what's going on, but I know y'all need to get that right before you get up here trying to do any ministering to anyone, especially the leaders.
Right.
A lot of time we put on it's a show thing in this world today. It's about show. I don't have time for games. And sister, I like what you said earlier. My yes is yes. My no is no. How did I get there? I went through a divorce so bad. It was so bad. I almost lost it. As a man, I'm telling you from a man's standpoint, I almost lost it, going crazy, gained weight, just losing it because of the stress. And watch this. Not only did I go through a divorce, I went through a divorce in ministry. That was the hard part. Preaching all them years, all those folks, and here I am going through.
Right.
And I had to walk through that. And see, a lot of people, preachers won't tell you that. I'm not ashamed.
Right.
I'm not ashamed to tell you that. It was difficult. It was tough, especially being a man of high standard. And all of a sudden, you going down.
Yeah.
It takes two to make a man's work. Yeah. And it's not always the man. I'm going to leave it like that. It's not always the man. Sometimes you got women that can get in there and tear up something too.
The hellions.
Yeah. The scripture says a wise woman know how to build up a house, but a foolish woman know how to tear it down.
Absolutely.
So and I heard my brother, I think you said about the nagging earlier. I'd rather be on the rooftop than in the house with a brawling or nagging woman. That's what the scripture says. I'd rather be on the housetop.
I'll go to work and throw boxes at the wall all day.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something. It's amazing that we are on this live tonight. Normally, our Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm working on my music, and I just heard the Most High say, just kind of stroll through the lives before, because we were getting ready to eat, and I was just kind of winding down, getting ready. I had already did my vocal warm-ups, and as I saw y'all on the live and what y'all were talking about, I was just like, oh man, I ain't gonna be able to sing tonight, and I didn't say it like in a bad way. I just knew that the Most High wanted us to be on. So before I volunteered to come on, I wanted to, get permission and say, hey, are you okay? What is the Most High saying to you about, because you have to be on one accord. You can't just be out there. It's like, hey, I'm going to volunteer my husband. You can't do that. If we know our lane, know what we supposed to do in our own lane, it'll work in the middle. You see what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times, I've heard women, we've ministered to so many people over the years, how people have a problem with the word submission and they don't understand that it's really not a difficult word. You make it hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you respect, the Most High first, you respect yourself and then respect your spouse, then, it's okay for you to go and, it's not an issue of hey, I need to go and make sure that this is okay, for us to do this, because you're not by yourself no more. You have a mate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're not single. You know what I'm saying? And so I was really happy that we're able to come on. We always want to make sure that, whenever the Most High lead us to share, that we share. My husband had voiced that he had been married before. I too had been married before. I was in a marriage 13 years. My ex-husband was so abusive. I went through a very abusive marriage, very toxic. I had 4 children from him. It was hard. It was hard. It was so hard. I had a mild stroke from stress. Every form of abuse you can imagine, I went through it with him. And I just cried out. I was like, how long am I going to be able to get out of this situation, with him? And so I told the Most High, I was like, if you make a way out of no way for me, I promise you I'll go, because I want to protect my children. And sure enough, he made a way. I left with nothing. Do you hear me? My 4 babies, I packed them up. I had already came back from Europe, from singing over there. And I left. And the Most High provided for me and my children. And I didn't rush into a relationship. I had to heal, because you got all that layers of abuse and layers of, hurt that you have to allow the Most High to peel back and heal from you. I had walls up, didn't trust nobody. I mean, I have a hard time trusting people now, but for good reasons. You know what I'm saying? But it was just so many different levels of hurt that he had to heal. And so, because you don't want to get into a relationship or get, with someone and you ain't allowed the Most High to heal you. And then you get into that thing and then it'll be a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you say you had to learn that. Yeah. Look, it's, just one day at a time. But I've learned that when like as a wife, I love being a wife. Oh, I love being a wife. I love it. And it makes it even better when you married to the right man.
Right on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I love taking care of my home. I love, doing whatever, however the Most High lead us to, I love doing that. And so I'm just so grateful. I tell people I went through hell the first time of my marriage, and we don't look down at people if they got married 4 times. We don't look down on you because look, it's your business. And one, we don't know what went on behind closed doors. It's not for us to be, pointing a finger because you ain't got no room to talk about nobody for real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you just have to now if you out here dropping it like it's hot and you for the streets and hey, you gonna have to take that up with the Most High. But I'm talking about for people that really, they went through a marriage and they didn't make it, and it's and it's not on them, but a lot of times we have blamed ourselves for something that was not our fault.
Right.
And I had to ask the Most High to heal me from lying, and I'm saying, why you say lying? Because I took responsibility for something that wasn't my fault. I would say, okay, it's my fault. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. It's my fault. That's lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do that no more. I had to be real with myself. I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to take responsibility for something that I didn't do wrong to make a false peace so the house can be straight. And the house ain't straight when you like that, when you with somebody that's continually making you the problem and they're crying the victim when they the problem. So yeah, we went through that, and he said earlier about it's not always men that's out here doing things wrong. There's some women out here that I think they say they Satan's daughters. I'm not even lying.
Oh yeah.
I'm for real. I've witnessed even with him, like it was so much stuff that went down. And when he said he went through a church, like a church hurt or church divorce, like it was bad. When you have a pastor that is ministering and doing everything he want, what he needs to do, and the wife is for the streets, and you just like, what in the world? So that type of hurt had to be healed. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just grateful that now we're in a place where we could grow.
That's good. That's good. We definitely appreciate you sharing that story. That's really, really deep. And we appreciate you being open and vulnerable, because that can be tough sometimes to speak on. And and while we have you on that subject, what advice could you give someone who may be dealing with a marriage that's like that, abusive, and want to leave but don't know how, or they're scared, and you said you had to really, really pray to kind of like, to get the answers, and you want to do what was right for you and your kids, you want to keep them safe. And it may be some women out there who want to leave and want to get out of those situations but don't know how. What advice could you give?
Or feel obligated due to the church or whatever. Most of the people in our lives, they're believers, they go to church, they'll feel obligated to stay in it because they don't want to, that whole stigma, well, if you get divorced, God is gonna hate you, going to hell. Like, what would you say to somebody that feels like they have to stay in it, like have to?
Well, I would tell them to I wouldn't advise them to stay in an abusive relationship. I was advised that, by my grandfather when he was alive. But I had to look behind the scenes and wonder, why would my grandfather advise me to stay with someone abusive, but because he was yet abusive. You see what I'm saying? And so I almost died. There's people that did not make it out of a situation like that because somebody advised them, girl, that's love. If he hitting on you, that's love. That is not love.
Yeah.
That's not love. And so I would tell them, say, listen, if you could, I prayed and asked the Most High for a plan. And I found if those that are married, find you an attorney that represent battered wives. That's what I did. I didn't even know it existed. And I just heard the Most High tell me, look for an attorney, because I didn't have any money. you know, because you know, they may be in a situation where they be like, okay, well, if you want a divorce from me, you're gonna have to pay for it. That's what he told me. I said, okay. I didn't have to pay for nothing, because when I went to the attorney, he made sure that he paid for it. He had to say that all these, you know, horrible things that he did to me. And so I was able to get, you know, a restraining order, all those different things. And, you know, and get, you know, some people may not have people that they can trust, but find you, you know, find your attorney, find you somebody that, you know, a place that you can go and you know, hide. Really, I mean, that's just the truth, because you want to get out of that situation. Get the cops involved, get reports down, you know what I'm saying? Go down there and make a report. You know, you have to get stuff in black and white. You know, so, but yeah, you can't be afraid, and don't take no advice about no time I stay in a marriage, man. That's crazy.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, baby.
When she was saying that, I started thinking about the different people I've counseled and talked to. Many, we have that religious spirit a lot of times, even in the church, a lot of religious stuff. Do this, girl. You know, you got to stay on. Let him sow his wild oats. Just hang on in there, and just be strong. That's that old day stuff. It's 2023, and we're living in a time right now. People ain't putting up with that stuff no more.
Right.
And I'm not. It is not going against scripture. Now, the set apart scripture says he hates divorce. Watch this, and I understand that. But guess what else it says? He said, but if you commit adultery, the set apart scripture said that you can let that individual go because marital unfaithfulness.
Yes.
They've been unfaithful. So you can divorce, but just not divorce somebody because they burnt the beans. They burnt the riot. Just not that divorce is just divorce. No, it's a way it must be done. Now, abuse, I believe that the Most High has enough sense. He has more wisdom than we do.
Right.
If somebody getting beat with a bat, what the heck you doing staying in that place? You get beat with a chain. I never forget, I was stationed in Korea, and a young lady came to my room at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was in the military, and she said, I need to talk to you, Pastor Durr. I said, okay. Now, I was ministering in Korea as an assistant pastor, and she said, my husband beat me with a bat. He beat me with a chain. And I can't keep taking it. I'm going through in my mind. He's about to come over here. What am I to do? I said, sis, I said, I'm going to tell you this. I said, it's going to sound crazy because you hear people in the church telling you to stay. I'm telling you to leave so you won't die.
Right.
I say it has nothing to do with respect for the marital vows. I respect those vows. It's not meant to, you get your head bashed in. How you going to be a good wife? You get beat with a chain. How you going to be a good wife? You broken up.
Right.
You tore up. So the deal is, when I got finished talking to her, I had people oppose me in the church. They got mad. They got upset. They were telling her, girl, stay. But none of those women were married. They were basing everything off religion.
Right, or dead.
And so most of them were telling her to stay, stay, stay. But none of those women were married and weren't facing anything like that. Now, every situation is different. Every phase in people's lives are different. My wife went through, she had bruises, a jaw. I had to get her jaw fixed from that abuse. Her jaw was messed up bad. And you know I want to get a hold of him. As a promise. And that ain't, I don't care, we wasn't married. At that time, he knew not to say nothing to me. Because that's a weak joker beating on a woman. He's weak, he's a chump. And the people I learned from in the streets told us, you want to go fight somebody, fight a dude in the street. You trying to fight a woman. You can't put your hand on that woman. The scripture says she's the weaker vessel, not weak in nature, not weak in the mind. That's not what it's saying. It's saying she's fragile. She's to be loved. She's to be nurtured, loved, ministered to. That's the type of weakness it's talking about. That weakness of not weak, but weak in the sense of she can't do the things you do as that man. You strong. You the breadwinner. You that power. You got to protect her. You got to help her. That's what it's talking about, being the weaker vessel. And people have twisted up the scriptures to make people think that, oh, that woman, see, when you say weaker, you mean we weak. No, that's not what it's saying.
Right.
You can't take stuff out of context. That's why you got to study and research and find out what it's saying.
Right.
But you guys are a shining example, even in 2 months. Y'all a perfect example in 2 months. I can see 20 years.
Come on now.
I'm going with the 2 months. I hit 2, but I see 20. But I see 20. Let me tell you why. Because you're starting out right. Mm-hmm. You doing things like coming on the live. You up there pouring out seed to other folks.
Right.
You want to see them make it.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though you just started, you said, look, man, we got to talk to somebody. We need to get out there and just talk. Find out what they going through. Let me tell you something. My wife and I have been through the money. I told you when I went through that divorce, I lost almost all the members. We talking about that's how I was making my money. I gave up my military career to keep my church. My church grew to about 250 to about 300 folks. It dropped all the way down to 12.
Wow.
I gave up my military career and went down to 12.
Wow.
And I was going through. Divorce was over. I'm by myself, struggling. I'm talking about going through. And I had to find a way. Lost the car, lost my house. I'm showing you, I said, I started crying out. And the Most High sent me someone 2 years later. But guess what, though? I fought through. I kept praying. Let me tell you something right now. I'm not telling you right now it was easy. It was not easy. Divorces are not easy. If I can advise anyone not to get one, don't get one if you can fight through. Especially those weak excuse divorces.
Yeah.
The ones that, well, I just don't like the way she looked no more. Well, look at yourself. You don't look the same either.
Period.
You don't look the same either.
That's true. That's true.
When I told my wife, it is funny, but when I told my wife when I first met her, I did like this. I said, "You're beautiful. You're chocolate." I said, "You got that hair. You're looking good." I said, "But I'm not marrying you for your out appearance." Y'all hear what I said? I'm not marrying you for your out appearance. She said, "Oh, what you mean?" I said, "You look good. You beautiful." I said, "But guess what? If we plan on getting married, you're gonna get old. Things gonna change. I love you inside out, not outside in. So I love you from the inside. I love you for you. So there have been some things change. Well, hey, now don't get me started. We're gonna cut this thing off.
Like, we gonna have to get off this live.
See y'all next Tuesday. No, I'm like,
y'all got me sweating. Y'all got me sweating. You got me sweating. But check this out. I love her inside out, not outside in, because outside gonna change.
Yeah, absolutely.
When she got now watch this. I was lifting weights. Now here, I'm trying to go quick as I can. I'm lifting weights. Here I am, 5'9", lifting weights. I'm wearing a size 54 suits. That's how big I was with muscles. But that was too much for my body. Then guess what happened? All of that turned to fat because I got depressed.
Wow.
Y'all catch what I'm saying? I'm bringing it up somewhere. Met her, she all slim and trim. She wanted me. I'm like, you want me? I said, look at me. I said, I don't look the way I used to look. But she saw me. She didn't see that outward appearance. She saw me. And when she came in, she helped me change and get myself back together. So I'm back in the gym. I'm working out again, getting myself together. But all of a sudden, she got injured. Then I had to turn around and love her and help her through a thing. She got to walk with a cane now.
Yeah.
But guess what I do? I still hold her hand in Walmart. I still carry her purse. And guess what? I ain't ashamed of her because I love her for who she is.
That's real.
Inside out. Because it was outside in, you won't see me on this camera tonight. Because most men be like, man, she don't look the same, man. She done changed, man. No, because that's what a lot of dudes do. They so outward appear. They so flesh governed outside. You got to get to that point. I love her. If she had her hair fried and dyed, Jerry curl, afro, it don't matter. Whichever style, haircut low, she's still mine.
Yep. Yeah, and that's exactly how I feel. You know, she's like that too. Like, can I tell them the story?
What story you about to tell?
Wait, mute it. Wait,
you were scared to tell me. You were scared to tell me.
Right, she like muted first.
Yeah, mute it first. Don't put on the spot, sir.
No, it's not on the spot. It's touching on like how you were saying
don't just put me
about loving from the inside out. You know, and that's how I was with her. Of course, the beauty is what attracts you, but what made me fall in love with her was her personality, you know what I'm saying, the spirit that she had, and how she made me look at myself and see the type of man that I wanted to be. And I remember one day we had a conversation in the kitchen. It's like she said she had something she wanted to tell me, but she was scared. And I told her, like, listen, you know, you can come and talk to me about anything. And she told me, she was like, well, you know, I have RA. And I said, okay. And she said, that's rheumatoid arthritis. I said, okay. And she was like, so, as I get older, I may not be able to do some things that I do now, or you may have to help me and different things like that. And I said, okay, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
That's right.
And I think she might have felt like, I was going to look at her different or run off and leave. But I don't care if I have to push her around in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. Like, I love her for who she is and the heart that she has. Her spirit, how she motivates and, has a heart for these women and stuff like that. Like, she's just amazing. And as long as she stays amazing in this inside and this heart, I don't care what this outer do. I don't care what her physical body can and cannot do.
That's
because
it.
I didn't marry her, for that. I married her for what, she has inside and what she brings out of me as a man. So, yeah. So I feel where you're coming from, bro.
Man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And let me tell you something, sis. The Most High got a way to help you even with that rheumatoid arthritis. There's some stuff out there you can start taking, like CMOS. You can start doing that healthy stuff. Just change diet. I'm telling you, he can work it.
Right.
And some of that stuff comes from what we eat. And it gets worse as the years go by. I know my hands used to be tight. I went through a lot, man. I know. And I see my wife, she had to get up some mornings, can't hardly walk. My lower back, I had to start working on myself, start working out, and start getting myself together. But you got you a real man. You got you a real man sitting beside you. He's a strong man. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to say to my brothers that they strong men.
Yes.
And I'm not afraid to say that he's a handsome guy. You got you a handsome guy.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody. Look, I'm real over here, baby. Ain't no sweetness.
And I appreciate
real.
that.
You're good, and you got your beautiful wife, brother.
Yeah,
vice versa.
Absolutely.
The deal is that's right. All right, hold on for a minute.
Yes, now.
Don't do that. Don't do it. Hey, don't make me go bow legged on there. Hey, hey, the deal is love is everything. Love covers a multitude of sin. That's exactly what you just said. Love covers a multitude of sin. When you got somebody that love you, ain't nothing like it.
That's right.
Ain't nothing like that real love. And don't y'all let nobody get in between y'all marriage. Don't y'all let nobody give y'all some crazy, stupid advice.
That's right.
Especially don't sound right with y'all spirit.
That's
don't
right.
accept that junk. Say, we don't want to hear that mess.
That's right.
I'm telling you, I'm so straightforward now. My days are being, Mr. Pastor, I love the saints. I'm just gonna, y'all go ahead. No, I don't do that no more. Them days are over for that. You do something I don't like, I'm saying something to you. And I'm not talking about evil. I'm just straightforward. I ain't got time to play.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, I'm 59. I'm 59.
Oh wow.
And my wife, now she look at her, she's 50.
I'm 50.
You wouldn't have known.
The deal is, and we don't tell everybody because they say, man, you got a beard, but you look young. I said, no, I try to stay in shape. I try to eat right. We don't try to stay stressed out, and we don't hang around everybody. We don't ain't bringing our marriage around everybody. I don't want nobody. I'm sitting down at the table. You staring my wife down, but your wife next to you.
Man, listen.
I don't play that. That's your wife. That's for your eyeballs. That ain't for my eyeballs. That's your woman.
Right.
And you got to respect. Another thing, you got to respect other people's relationship.
Yes.
I don't play that trying to hug up on everybody's woman, trying to stand them down. Man, that ain't yours, brother. I don't believe in that. Love who you got.
Right, because I'll let them know quick.
I know you will.
Oh, bro. Yes, she know I don't play no games.
Yeah, he don't play. And,
I don't play no
Lee
games.
said people will they'll try the small stuff so small and sneaky to try to separate.
Like hugs and all kind of stuff
that's exactly what you're saying. Like, yeah, we don't do those long, drawn-out hugs with the opposite sex. Like, what you need? Like, if you're not family, why are you trying to hug on me for a long time? Or we all take group pictures and I find your hair rubbing on me and you ain't my husband. Like, no, like, what are you doing? Like, that's what we were talking about earlier. We're not open. We're not swingers. We are monogamous. We believe in me and him. Like, we not no other spirits or nothing in this household that don't belong. So this is 1-1. So
right.
In Atlanta, because we're in Atlanta, but in Atlanta that's common. People are open. They're poly. They're swinging, and I just don't.
They everything.
Right. You know, and some people make it biblical. Well, you know, in the Bible, the man had, you know, multiple wives. Well, that was back then in the Old Testament. We talking about today. Like like, no, I believe that God said to become one.
That's right.
Can't come in one with 5 other women because, first of all, I'm enough for him to deal with.
Woo, go ahead now. Go ahead, boy. Go ahead.
Where my bell at? I need my bell. I need
So I'm like, I'm enough. So I know he couldn't handle no 5 other people.
No.
But gonna try and see.
I don't like sharing. So that right there
Me either.
Is a whole situation. Like
I'm
finna fight. Even thinking about it, it's making me real tight right now. Like, no, I'm not sharing.
I don't like me either. I don't like sharing at all.
Exactly.
I'm not sharing. But let me say this. You had said something about, you know, your arthritis. That's what you was talking about, right? Earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So over 7 years ago, I got hurt. And this was right before we was getting ready to start on my second album, and we was getting ready to go into the studio, and I got hurt so bad that it has caused me to be like disabled.
Mm-hmm.
So I have severe chronic pain, severe chronic nerve damage, severe chronic muscle spasm. My spine is leaking, and they just told me I have severe chronic carpal tunnel. Okay. So I'm in pain all day, every day, even behind all the smile and everything. My smiles is real, but I'm in pain. Like I have a high tolerance of pain, but that don't mean I'm not hurting. I'm hurting. So my husband and our youngest daughter are my caregivers, and I have a neck brace I have to wear, a back brace, hand braces, ankle braces. I have 2 canes. I have a bone simulator I have to wear, and it's not easy. So I was like, I told the Most High, I said, I'm not going to make this what I'm going through an excuse. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. I have not been able to lay flat in a bed in over 7 years. I cannot work out like everybody. I can't do it. I cannot do all that stuff. I can't hardly lift. I can't hardly reach. I can't hardly do all that stuff. So when you talked about, you asked him, said, you know, I'm going to be dealing with this, and, you know, is that going to be okay? I love that the Most High chooses the people that we need in our lives, because he already know beforehand they're going to have this happen to them and blah, blah, blah. And you're going to need somebody understanding that's not going to abandon you. I know about that. My ex-husband abandoned me. So I know that feeling of abandonment, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody in your family have, you know, abandoned you. My biological father, he wasn't there. He abandoned me. So that spirit was trying to follow me even through my life until the Most High put him in my life and showed me this is what a real man's supposed to be like.
Yes.
This is what a real marriage is supposed to be like. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing when you have the right person in your life. They're going to understand. Like he said, baby, you're going to get older. I'm going to get older. When I met him, yes, he had a lot of weight on him. And I hated that people mistreated him. And I ain't play that. And I was in church telling folks, this my big daddy.
I know that.
And I said, y'all talking about his belly, baby, that's my playground, honey. What? What you say? Look, I don't care what you say. And when we went to different churches and we ministered and stuff like that. Man. Now, I think Summer had said something about people be sneaky and stuff like that. Let me tell y'all something. We went to a conference, and in the conference they were in Georgia. And there was and the conference had all these people from all over the world came. So I had to sing, my husband had to minister, he had to preach. And as soon as we came in, like the Most High, and I was pregnant at the time. I later had miscarried, but I was pregnant at the time. And so we knew right off, y'all was telling us, okay, them swingers, stay away from them right there. And it was a whole collective of men and women that faithfully get together and sin against the Most High. They looking for new people to... Yes. And so we didn't play that because, you know, I've been called ghetto and ratchet. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you're trying to hit on me, I'm going to tell. And I'm going to be real loud because you shouldn't have tried it. Right. So we was at this conference and we was walking to, it was like a crowd of people was walking to go eat. And my husband was in front of me and I was behind him because it was so tight, and I had my purse on me.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Most High said, drop your purse. I dropped my purse and my purse flipped like that. I said, what the world? It was a pastor that tried to hit my butt, and my purse blocked it.
Wow.
When I turned around and noticed it, I yelled. For my husband. He took off running. We was gonna be like that episode you see in Mr. and Mrs. Smith when they had the guns, they sliding across the table with the knives. That was us. Because we coming
from have been.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and I was just like, what is going on that people just feel the need to just be out here doing the most? They don't have no respect for marriage, no respect for the Most High. And we come to find out, a guy came to my husband and said, you know, Mr. Durr, we really need you here because a lot of these men out here hoeing and they swinging on their wives and they doing all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, we ain't got time for that. There's a woman that came up to him right when I turned when I tell you I turned just a second, she came up and she was trying to hold his hand and all that. And the men, it was like a group of men that sent this woman to him to see if he was going to fall with her so they can try to get me. I mean, it was he had to snatch his hand and he busted her out. So we don't play them games. You have to be tight with each other. And with family, we don't play that either.
Right.
Some family members ain't family members. Just because you're born into the family, that don't mean they're your family for real.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, so yeah, what you say? Yes, they will. They'll try to see, but honey, we showed them what was going on. They ain't like it. They took off. Cause I would yell from the rooftop and be like, hey, he tried to hit on me.
He never tried again.
And he ain't never tried again. And then like you was talking about the hugs, like I was at this church and this guy came up behind me. When I turned around, he missed my lip by an inch, kissed me on my face. When I tell you, I wanted to rip his throat out. I'm not even lying.
Right.
Like, and there was one of the guys in our ministry. He was an elder in our church that kissed me. I didn't even know. I turned around and I ran to the back of the church and got my husband. I was like, we finna scorch the earth. You hear me?
I dealt with that.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, but when you let people know that, hey, we love each other, ain't no room for no mess.
Right.
They'll call you all kind of names, but they'll tell you like they anointed, but child, they ain't into that. Leave them alone. Yeah, you better go on somewhere. Cause I love the Most High, but we would tap on that behind. I'm here to tell you. We ain't got time for that.
I was trying to find Pastor, I was trying to find the scripture in the Bible. I know it's there because I thought I didn't seen it, but something about like if you are committing adultery with another man's wife, then you looking to get stoned, something like that.
Yeah.
I know it's in there. I don't know where to find it, but I told him on the last live, it's in there. So if y'all want to try me, you can go ahead and try one of us. Yeah. But you looking to get dealt with if you try it over here, because we ain't.
Well, people, that's in the book. That's like in the Leviticus, in the Old and in the New, where the Messiah told them, don't cast that stone, because they were trying to kill this woman for being in adultery. They wanted to kill the woman. They weren't going to do anything to the man. And so he said, if you ain't going to punish the man and the woman, you're not going to, you don't need to punish nobody. Then he said, he that's without sin cast the first stone. A lot of these people out here teaching a good word, but ain't living worth nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
So your lifestyle got to match up with what you're saying.
Right.
And so that was the main gist of that message of casting that stone at that woman that was in adultery. They wanted to get rid of that woman because most of them probably had been with her. And now this other dude out there with her. So they want to go kill her now because somebody else ain't got a hold to her.
Right.
So that's what the scripture was talking about. And this is a beautiful live. I appreciate you both for inviting us in.
We definitely
for inviting us in. Like I said, we're not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. I make plenty of mistakes. I made plenty of mistakes. But let me put it like this. But I know what I'm talking about when it comes down to living. I've seen some stuff. I've been around the world. Yeah. I'm in Germany when I was 20 years old, 19 years old. I've been around. I touched Mozart's piano. I've been to places. But it don't mean nothing if you ain't living right.
Right.
I don't care what you have done in the world. It don't mean nothing if you're not living right. and all this stuff they got out here today, and even in churches. Some of these churches, when I used to go preach, they hated me to come in and preach because I would preach messages like this flesh is a mess, and I would tell them the truth about sin from the pulpit to the back door. I've had preachers cross their legs on me at big conferences. I used to preach in them big conferences, and they would cross their legs and be mad at me because I wasn't a normal preacher. I was a radical, and I came in telling the truth against sin. These men, the guy that tried to hit my wife on the behind, he ran, but he came back the next day. He thought I wasn't going to say anything, but the preacher called me up. It's a big church in Douglasville, Georgia. Y'all know the church. And they called me up to say something. I think if I name the name, you'll know who I'm talking about. But it's a big church in Douglasville, Georgia. He said, Dr. Durr, I want you to come up and say something. When I got up, I heard the Most High impress on my spirit. He said, come against adultery and fornication. And I came against it. You should have seen them men. They held their head down, and all them wives start crying.
They start crying.
They just start crying.
Yes.
Because the Most High came in. He was bringing conviction for them to repent.
Right.
Because there's a lot of them hurting their wives. They out here trying to be a preacher and a player at the same time.
Wow.
Ain't no such thing as a preacher and a player. You either a preacher or you just go ahead and be a player.
Yeah. Right.
See, that's what I'm saying. People wear this stuff, these labels. I'm an apostle. I'm a prophet. I'm a pastor. I don't give a hoot. You're a hoe. Just tell the truth. The deal is, stop living that way. I told you I'm just like that.
And
keep
it real. Keep it
real. Tell the truth.
We keep it real, so we like it.
Yes, ma'am. So you got to tell the truth. If you want to have a relationship with the Most High, you got to be truthful with your own self.
Yes.
That's what I love about you guys' relationship, even at this stage.
Yes.
Y'all are doing a good thing. I'm telling y'all now. Keep it like this, please. Don't stop doing it. Don't stop doing it. I don't care about no 2 months. 2 months is 2 years now. That's how I look at it. 2 months or 2 years. This is strength in this hour. You need to do this.
Yes.
We need strength like this in relationships. Because there's a lot of, let me say it now, there's a lot of confusion in the land. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of twisting. There's a lot of blurred lines. There's a lot of crazy stuff. I don't have to say everything, but you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of stuff going on that will make you think that we shouldn't be doing this right here. We shouldn't be talking about marriage because there's so much stuff going on. No, talk about it anyway.
That's right.
Because there's some people out here that want to be married. There's some people that want to make it. There's some single sisters on here tonight that's saying, man, I need to hear this so I can just stay strong. There's single brothers that want to stay strong.
Yeah.
Everybody don't want to be no player. Everybody don't want to be a whorish person.
That's right.
Some people want to be right. Some people want to be right.
Yeah.
And so I just believe in the sanctity of marriage. I believe in what the Most High has given me is mine. I'm not deviating from it. I ain't got my eyes nowhere else. When I tell my wife, please let me say this real quick. I never forget, I used to dye my beard all the time. I used to dye, had my hair dyed, my beard dyed, thought I was still young, just clean. And one day I heard the Most High say, I want you to stop dyeing that beard. He said, you need to stop dyeing it because I found out a friend of mine, he started getting cancer from the dye.
Oh, wow.
And one friend got burnt up in the face. I mean, all these stories start coming to me. I said, okay, I'm going to stop. But when I would dye my beard, I would go to Walmart to go shopping because my wife couldn't make it. She was injured. And there were some young ladies in there. I think they thought I was about 30 years old. They were just giggling. They were walking around trying to talk to me and all this stuff. All of a sudden, when the Most High said, stop dyeing your beard, all of a sudden that grace started showing. Man, them girls got so mad. they were so frustrated and mad. But I paid no attention to them because my intent was not to go after them. I was just doing the beard because that's what I wanted to do. Right. But there's many people that dye their beards for selfish, vain reasons. Right. And they preaching and they out here cheating on their wife, got dye all over the place. Don't realize that dye is bad for your health.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, I'm glad he kept me. Even with those young women, they got mad, they got upset, and they got over it because I didn't care. I kept letting it get whiter and whiter because it's not about that. I'm not going to Walmart to be no pimp. Right. I'm not going to Walmart to walk around scoping. Right. I've had many get mad at me because you don't know whether to speak to folks today or not speak to folks.
Right.
It's twisted. It's crazy. And I wouldn't speak to a lot of the young women. They would get mad. But then some I speak to, they would get mad because I spoke to them. Yeah. And I'm saying, so Father, I'm just going to keep quiet. Because I don't
That's
have no
how I
hidden
do. I don't
agenda.
even say nothing. I don't even
No,
say
bro,
nothing.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I don't have no hidden agenda.
Right.
What you see is what you get. Ain't no fakeness, ain't no phoniness. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, you meet us, you be like this. That joker's still the same, even though he off the phone, he's still the same. Right. What you see is what you get, and I know y'all the same way. Don't sugarcoat for nobody.
That's right.
Don't deviate from nobody, and don't play the radio.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all for
We
all
do.
this knowledge, man. We thank y'all for coming on.
Appreciate it
so much.
We
tune
thank y'all
in
for
every Tuesday at 9:00. So any Tuesday, if y'all want to jump on again, you know, and just check us out, or if you want to come on and talk again, you know, we more than welcome. We more than happy to have y'all. Y'all are welcome anytime.
Yes.
Right.